From the students of the Department of Meteorology and Atmospheric Science, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Good morning and happy Tuesday. I'm student meteorologist Luke Snyder here for your Tuesday morning forecast. Taking a live look here at Beaver Stadium, you can see we have some pretty nice mix of sun and clouds for much of this Commonwealth today as we move through much of central Pennsylvania. Right now we're sitting at only 9 degrees, so quite a chilly start to today's morning. And we're going to be seeing it feels like of only -7. That's going to be due mostly in part to these strong west-northwest winds we have coming in at around 13 miles per hour. And this trend's going to be true for the rest of the state as well, as we see wind speeds roughly in the upper teen for much of the Commonwealth. Johnstown here is going to be sitting a little bit higher at 23 degrees due to those higher elevations in the Laurel Highlands. And in much of the Commonwealth, again, is to be experiencing these strong wind speeds throughout much of their day today. And that's going to impact our temperatures quite drastically for much of the state. Looking at central Pennsylvania, we're sitting at pretty comfortably in the single digits with these feels like well into the negatives due to these strong wind chills. But as we expand out into the rest of Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania is going to be seeing a little bit more of these cooler conditions sitting in the single digits with wind chills into the negative teens. However, as we move through central and eastern Pennsylvania, temperatures do begin to increase ever so slightly into the upper teens and lower 20s, with wind chills only causing it to be around in the single digits for our feels like temperatures as well. Looking at current radar and satellite loop, you can see we have not much clouds moving through much of the area. We have a few lake effect snow showers moving further north into the New York region. But as we expand out, we can get that first hint of this system we see moving through later on this work week. It's slowly beginning to develop over here in the central portion of the lower 48, and then will continue to make its way through, later impacting Pennsylvania on Wednesday and into Thursday of our work week. But looking at some of our future weather, later on today, we do have some cloud coverage move in later on with temperatures only getting into the upper teens for much of the state. Some areas only seeing lower 10s for much of their high temperatures today. And overnight into tomorrow, temperatures much cooler with much of the northwestern tier of Pennsylvania seeing temperatures at 0 or negative conditions for their low temperature tomorrow morning. But as we continue through the rest of the day onto Wednesday, temperatures do increase slightly with much more of the state seeing lower 20s for our high as we have some clouds making their way through later on Wednesday afternoon and evening. Continuing through the rest of the night, overnight into Thursday, temperatures don't dip quite as low as we saw later on this evening, and that's going to be due partly to this warm front we have moving through ahead of this low pressure system that we're going to be seeing in just a moment as we expand out to the rest of the northeastern portion of the country. Later on Thursday morning, this system slowly begins to make its way through, not too heavy of a snowfall. Accumulation is only around 1 to 2 inches for here in State College. And as we continue through, these flurries are expected to make their way through much of central Pennsylvania throughout the day on Thursday, overnight into Friday. Friday, we're going to be seeing a few lingering flurries for much of central Pennsylvania, also impacting very predominantly western of the Appalachians and that northwestern tier right area as well. Some of those flurries are going to be a little bit more impactful there on Friday than we're going to be seeing here in State College. Continuing through, though, this system does eventually make its way out into the area, leaving Saturday relatively calm here for THON weekend at Penn State. But we do have this next system moving through a little bit further north in the Canadian region, so it's going to be more that northern tier, north of I-80 of Pennsylvania is going to be seeing that real brunt of that system with some of those snow flurries. But later on today, a high of only 19 degrees with those gusty and cool conditions continuing with winds from the west at around 13 to 18 miles per hour pretty predominantly, with gusts upwards of 20 miles per hour throughout the day. Later on this evening, a low of only 7 degrees with partly cloudy skies, though some of those clouds do begin to make their way out of the area, with winds calming down ever so slightly at around 6 to 10 miles per hour. And then heading into tomorrow, a high of 23 degrees, so a little bit warmer than we saw today with those clouds moving in yet again, and winds pretty predominantly calming down at around 5 to 10 miles per hour coming in from the west. But as we look at our 7-day forecast, we can see temperatures slowly begin to start creeping up after the snow system moves through Thursday and into Friday. So as we head into THON weekend, you can see temperatures are slowly going to be, again, above freezing for our high conditions. As we move into the rest of the weekend on Monday, after that next system moves through northern Pennsylvania, temperatures potentially into the upwards of 40 degrees for our high on Monday. From the Penn State Campus Weather Service, I'm Luke Snyder. Have a great day.